Hi, Frank's Construction. This is Claudia with Mallard Digital Marketing. We spoke on the phone earlier. And I'm just making this video because I want to show you guys a couple things that we can do to help you out through online things like your website, search engine optimization, and things like that. So right now I have your website pulled up and I'm just going to go through it and show you a couple things that you can change and then compare it to your top competitor in the area. So going through your website, it's pretty decent. One thing that I would note is that Google wants 1,500 words on the front page for it to fully optimize your site. Right now, I would say you have about 500, so that's something that could be a fairly easy fix, and it would allow Google to have more words as well as know your site better with more words to be able to rank it better. So if we look at your competitor here, they have basically no words on their front page. So they're obviously ranking in other ways, but that is one way that you could easily beat them out because your website is definitely better than theirs. Another thing that's important to note is it looks like you cover 70 miles around Sun Prairie. So there's a lot of different cities and locations that you help out with and do things, and having a locations page within your site would also help a lot because then you're able to rank in those other cities as well, because when people are looking for a contractor in Sun Prairie, right now you're not coming up at the top, which we can fix that. But if they're looking for a contractor and they're living 50 miles from Sun Prairie, you're probably not going to come up because right now you're only ranking for Sun Prairie at all. So that's something to note. Like I said, that having locations pages might help. So in addition to the number of words on your site and things like that, another thing that's important is keywords on the site, so what those words are pretty much. And Google looks at those, and then whenever people look up words similar, that's when your site pops up. So I have this tool called SEO Quake, and it kind of just shows some of those keywords. And right now, they're pretty relevant. Services, construction, Sun Prairie, Sun Prairie. So having your area is great. Once again, having those different location pages would help in this area as well. Also having what you do and where you are in the same keyword helps a lot. So for example, contractor in Sun Prairie. So that just kind of helps with the buyer intent keywords because people who are looking for you are going to look up contractors in Sun Prairie. They're not necessarily going to look up your exact business name if they don't know who you are and other things like that. So your keywords aren't bad though, and that's just one thing that I would improve is having your area and what you do in the same keyword. If we look at your competitor, your keywords are pretty similar, and so just by adding that location and what you do in the same keyword, you'll be able to easily beat them out. So the next thing that we're going to look at is just what pops up when you do look up contractors in Sun Prairie. So we're going to take a look at this first section here, which is what we call the map pack or the Google Map Pack. And it's just these top 3 businesses that show up. You can obviously look at more businesses, but a lot of people don't go through that process. That's how I found you, and you were a couple pages back. So you definitely want to be up in the top for people to find you because this is what comes up first. And also if someone's just looking on Google Maps, these are the ones that would come up first there as well. So your number 1 competition right now is Jen's Home Improvement Pros. And how you rank here, there's a couple different ways. One way is by having citations, which are your name, address, and phone number on other websites like Better Business Bureau, Yelp, places like that. And you want to have more of those than your competitors. So if we look here, I have this tool called Whitespark, and it shows that you actually have the same amount of citations as your top competitor. Something that we look at though too is if you click here, you can see that their strength are pretty high. This domain authority having 93, 88, 88, 80, those are actually higher than yours. And so even though you have the same amount, their citations are stronger and more powerful. So what's cool is that we could go after each of these and get you even more than them, so that you could beat them out in that aspect. A couple other things is the amount of reviews you have, how much information you put, how you describe your website and your services, and then also just the amount of photos you have, things like that all help put you above your competitor. So the next thing that would come up is just these regular searches, and a lot of them are, like I was saying before, those citations, the Better Business Bureau, Angie's List, Yelp. So once again, it's helpful to have those citations out there because then you're able to be found on these websites if someone decides to click on them. But after that, we have Stella's Construction, and that is the first regular website of a business. And so you want to be up there, and we can even get above these other things for you to get up here to the top, because when people look here, your website shows more about you. And so even though their website, Stella's Construction, isn't as great as yours, they're popping up above yours. So you don't want that to happen. And one way that they do this, and you can beat them out, is through what we call backlinks. And so Ahrefs shows the backlinks for a site, which backlinks are just a link on another website that leads to your website. So right now you can see that you don't have any backlinks, and they don't have any backlinks. And so that means that you can beat them out very easily because they don't have any. So if you have any number of backlinks, then you'll be beating them out immediately. So backlinks are fairly easy to get and find for us. Just reaching out to people who are relevant, because you don't want irrelevant backlinks. You want ones that actually go with what you're doing and who you are. But that would boost your score a lot. It'll boost what they call your domain rating and your URL rating, and it just adds strength to your URL and helps it to rank a lot higher. So that's all I've got for you today. Those are just a couple of things that we can do out of many to help you guys out. And so if you're interested, please reach out to us. My name is Claudia Mallard with Mallard Digital Marketing. My number is 910-725-8405, and we would love to hear from you. Thanks, and